It is possible to save money while eating healthy. If you come to me, I'll show you exactly how to do it. And then I'm just like... The good thing about starting off with protein in the morning, it keeps you full for long. I've been eating ground beef for a family of 4. What do you mean? Because usually I wouldn't serve like this. Sometimes you need to touch grass a little bit. Physique! The more color, the more nutritious, the more better. Good morning, welcome back to the channel. Calorie here. This is week 3. I'm here to rant a little bit, but I'm not very good at multitasking. I don't even know what was the plan, but there's one thing I have noticed since I started all this, because I used my social media to research workouts, diet, all that stuff. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, the lot of it. And one thing I've noticed is, of course, my algorithm is now pushing me towards health content and diet coaches, all that stuff. A lot of them. Okay, I keep getting a lot of don't count calories, or don't restrict yourself. If you do that, you will fail, or don't do this, don't do that. The things that are... There's a lot of contradicting information, right? And then you'll find a personal trainer going oh, if you have been doing this, you're doing it wrong. And if you're getting those generic coaching programs that are not customized to you, you'll not be able to, keep track of everything, and you will fail, and blah blah blah. A lot of confusing messaging that keeps on coming up. You'll scroll from one video to the next, and whatever the previous person said, the next person will be saying the complete opposite of that. And I can imagine, for me, I already made a resolution to myself. I know what I want to do, and I know the procedure that I'm going to follow through to get it. The reason why I do research is for the finer details, right? But I can imagine someone who's just clueless and they need help, and then they come across all these conflicts on the internet. It can be overwhelming, because even me sometimes, of course, there's some things which I know are a certain way, and then someone else will come and completely obliterate that thought and be like, no, it's not supposed to be like that. And I'm just come on, man, come on. I've been doing this. The funniest thing is, with all this all these conflicts among the personal trainers, the health coaches and all that, one thing I've always noticed is that at the end of the video, they'll be telling you I will do something special for you, there's something unique. They'll say, don't count calories, don't restrict your meals, you can have cheat days, you can what, and if you come to me, I'll show you exactly how to do it. And then I'm just first of all, one thing I've come to realize as someone who has been having yo-yoing weight is that every single diet works. If you decide you're gonna drink water for 5 days and not eat any food, you're gonna lose weight. Every single diet works. The only difference is the results and the sustainability. Of course, if you don't eat, you lose weight, you lose muscle, you lose fat, you lose everything. You just become skinny and weak. Of course, once you start eating again, your body's oh, thank God, we have something to sustain us. Let's store everything. Yeah, your body's gonna be okay, finally, we get something back. So every diet works. But the problem is, a lot of them are not sustainable. Whatever conditions you give to your body will do its best to adjust and adapt to that condition for the best results for survival. It's not about the best results for health, for longevity, no, for survival at that time. So if you're eating less and you're overweight, your body will be okay, we need to dig into the fat stores so that we can meet the energy demand of the systems. And then it reaches a point where your body will keep on trying to adapt to this less eating until it reaches a point where your body is okay, now we have figured out how to manage whatever little amount of food we're being given. So you will end up adapting to that level of eating, and then you don't lose any more weight. And then after some time, you'll be okay, the diet is not working, I'm not losing any more weight, I have failed. Meanwhile, your body has just figured out how to work with a cup of coffee and an apple. and homeostasis has been achieved and everything is in balance. With this cup of coffee and this apple, we would make it stretch. And the funny thing is that the way the body does it, it's ways that you don't even notice. Like, for example, if you've been really active, even as a bigger person, if you're really active and then you go on a diet, you know those small movements that you make, like if you're sitting down and you think, I need a cup of water, I'm going to stand up and go and get a cup of water. That's time. When I tell you your body works over time, it will be like, no. We're not getting that cup of water. Continue sitting. Like just the day-to-day movements that keep your body burning calories, you will subconsciously reduce all that to the point where you're not moving, unless maybe like now you have a set exercise time. So you find yourself like maybe working out for an hour a day, but the rest of the day, your body is just like, we need to conserve as much as possible. And then of course, weight loss reduces. And then these people who say like, I will give you a diet plan, but there's no restrictions on it, you know? There's no restrictions. You can have whatever you want. Like you don't need to starve yourself. You don't need to stop eating your favorite foods just because you're on a diet, you know, all that stuff. Let me tell you, one thing I know is that the body is a machine and it operates on energy, calories in, calories out. And then when they say, I will give you a diet with no restrictions, if you're specifically trying to cut down weight, there is no diet that doesn't have restrictions, because there's only a certain number of calories that your body can utilize. So if they tell you like, you can eat as much as you want but still lose weight, that is a complete lie. There will still be restrictions, because you have to restrict calories and force your body to dig into whatever calorie stores that you have in order to effect a change. If normally you eat 3 full meals a day and then you have a sweet treat after every meal, when it comes to losing weight, the restriction has to be there to the point where these 3 meals that you're normally eating have to be halved in order to accommodate the calories from the sweets and the extras that you're getting. You see, so there's no way they can tell you, I will give you a diet plan with no restrictions. Restrictions will still come in one way or the other, because at the end of the day, the total number of calories should not surpass at a certain level in order to achieve the change that you want. So ain't no way you can tell someone that there's a diet with no restrictions. And then another thing I know is that your body goes through cycles, like I said, because anytime you make some changes, it will take some time for your body to adapt to those changes. But then at some point, your body will adapt to those changes. So the most constant thing when it comes to your health is just change. Once you adapt to a certain thing, change and move on to the next. Change is constant. There's no way you can just keep on doing the same thing. You can do cycles, like you can't be on a diet for 365 days of the year for the rest of your life. It reaches a point where your body adapts. So you do cycles, you diet for 3 months, you take a 1 month break off. And sometimes even within these 3 months, if your body adapts really fast and you're not seeing changes, you, you go through bulking phases, you go through shredding phases, all this. So the way the fitness enthusiasts or those personal trainers will always talk about it like it's some kind of elusive secret that only they can help you figure out, it's a trip for me. And then the whole counting calories thing. I feel like at one point in your life, it's essential to just learn how to count calories. Like for me, the way I have been measuring out my meals and everything, it brings a visual to portion sizes. And I should preface this by saying this is what I think is good for me at this time, because again, but for me, what I find is that when you count calories at least once in your life for a certain period of time, maybe just even for a month, just count calories so you can understand portion sizes, because people overdo portion sizes without realizing like this is the thing that is causing excess calories. I used to think that eating a high protein diet is really expensive because of course animal proteins or proteins in general are usually super expensive. But then when you break down things to the correct portion sizes, you realize you have been over consuming. Like for example, beef. In UAE, beef is very expensive compared to even chicken as a protein. It's double, triple the price. But the amount that you need to consume per meal is so little compared to the way I used to eat it before that it's kind of starts making sense economically. It's not the same for everyone, but for me, I feel like it starts making sense economically. If I buy like 500 grams of ground beef, I eat 100 grams per meal. That's 5 meals from just half a kg of beef, as compared to the way we used to buy it before, like 500 grams, and then within 2 meals, it's gone. So that's more expensive than if you're eating healthy. You find yourself stretching things out more. If I buy chicken, like the way I can last with 1 kg of chicken breast, that's quite a number of meals. So it is possible to save money while eating healthy. With the state of the world, I know I can't just be throwing out statements like that willy-nilly, but it's just shifting my mind the way I thought this is supposed to work. So with all this crazy content that's coming up to me about nutrition and about health and all these coaches telling you one thing and another thing and another thing, the most important thing is getting the knowledge. Like, just do your research, figure out things, learn how to do what works for you, and that comes from extensive research and knowledge. Because I know also a lot of people don't know. It's not that they don't know by choice, but even if someone puts you on a calorie deficit and they tell you, eat this chicken breast, eat this, eat this, and then you find yourself like doing things like adding sauces and, mayonnaise, ketchup, and these are things that have hidden calories. But a lot of people don't know how much hidden calories comes with it, because you think like volume is more calories, like the bigger the meal is, the more calories it is. But different things have different levels of calories, right? So say for example, you have coleslaw. It's just vegetables, right? Carrots, whatever. But coleslaw, usually people add, I think some people add cream, some people add mayonnaise. Like 1 spoon of mayonnaise is like maybe 100 calories. Like 1 heaped tablespoon of mayonnaise could be like maybe 50 to 100 calories. And then the carrots and cabbages that you have in that coleslaw are just like maybe 10 calories, because they're vegetables, they're very light. So you think you're having a small, calorie, whatever, something, but the additions, that mayo has just bumped everything up. So having knowledge is the most important thing when you're trying to do this. When you're trying to fix your diet, fix your eating, maybe lose some weight, all that good stuff. And I don't discount personal trainers completely, or health coaches or whatever, because not everybody has time to do what I'm doing. Not everybody has time to research and sit down and write diet plans and what. Some people are busy in life. I do understand that some people are busy in life. They have bigger things to worry about, bigger problems to worry about. They just want someone who will come in and tell them, okay, this is what you need to eat, this is what time you need to work out, and they can outsource that part of the process, and achieve results, but without going through the hectic process of trying to figure out everything by themselves. So if you're in that category as well, than good for you. Like, I'm not discounting that at all. I'm just saying now, for the regular Joneses like me who don't have that in our budget, you have to just research and learn as much as you can about this process. Otherwise, you will get confused and lost in the sauce with all that stuff that is going on outside, because there is a lot. When I tell you, my algorithm has just been pushing them one after. I could be scrolling for like 20 minutes and just 5 or 6 videos back to back talking about nutrition and what, because I've put it in my timeline now. So for me, my plan is just, for now, I'm counting calories and I'm getting a lot of knowledge about portion sizes. And now that I have visually seen what 100 grams of protein look like, what 100 grams of rice looks like, in future, I don't need to bring out a scale and measure it. Like, I know visually this is what it's supposed to be. So even if I'm not constantly counting calories, I'm not planning to be constantly counting calories for the rest of my life, but I have that knowledge in the back of my head. And also, I'm planning to be doing cycles through this process. Like right now, okay, I'll be honest, it's vanity. I just want abs. I want my abs to show. But health is the ultimate goal. So, of course, I will be making changes accordingly. But I really don't mind counting calories, because I know I have the mental capacity for it at this moment. In life, maybe when other things become bigger priorities, I will not be able to do that. So just when those fitness people say, like, as a general, counting calories is a waste of time, it's not for everybody. Like, some people, this is a waste of time, especially people who can afford to hire someone to take care of that. Some people have, even, you can just go to a personal trainer, ask them for the meal plan, hand it over to your personal chef, ask them to prepare the food. All you have to do is show up to the table with your fork, and that's it. Those people don't need to worry about counting calories because everything has been taken care of in the back end. They're getting the best nutrition served to them up on a platter. But some people need that information, need that knowledge, need to learn about how to count the calories, how to, put everything together. So anyway, if I keep talking about this, I can keep ranting and ranting and ranting. But that's just where my mind frame is at with this whole process, especially with all the information that has been coming up to me on social media. This is my current everyday look because at some point during the day, I'm gonna go to the gym and I don't want to have caked on makeup to worry about, because when you sweat with makeup on, it's gonna start streaking and stuff like that. So I just need a light bit of foundation powder. I'm not highlighting anything, I'm not concealing anything or anything like that, but just to look a little bit presentable for the day. I went for the walks this morning. Now I'm going to have breakfast. Of course, for today, it's going to be the usual oats and berries for breakfast with Greek yogurt, and then see how the day goes. But it's beginning of, what did I say? I said week 3 or week 4? It's week 3. We are hoping for the best for week 3. I started adding a little bit of cinnamon to my overnight oats, just because low-fat Greek yogurt just tastes empty, like empty. I don't even know how to describe the taste, but it's an empty taste. And this is the brand of Greek yogurt that I use. I should actually say Greek style yogurt because it's not real Greek yogurt, but this one is 0% fat and 36 grams of protein per container. This container is how many grams? 360 grams. So I divide that into 2. So each serving of overnight oats has 18 grams of protein from the Greek yogurt. I think the reason why it has a high protein content is because it has additional milk protein. Aside from the milk that is made from the yogurt, in the ingredients it has non-fat milk and milk protein. So I guess that's what bumps up the protein to 36 grams per container. But the good thing about it being low fat is that the calories are much lower, because for this one 100 grams is only 63 calories. Anyway, so I added some cinnamon over here to make it a little bit more palatable. When I calculated with everything I've added, it comes to around 360 calories, I believe. If all this calorie talk is a bit much, I feel like for me at this time, it's important to know how many calories I'm putting in, what goes into my calories, so that in future I can be able to make wise decisions without using an actual scale. If there's one character in this house who's good at portion control, it's Sullivan, because we free feed him, just leave the food out on the bowl, and Sully will only eat until he's full and leave whatever portion is excess and come back and eat later. So I'm learning from the best. This week, I decided not to make the same mistakes as last week, so a lot of my meals have been pre-prepared, and also I have tried to introduce a few new things just to add more nutritious quality into the food. The more the variety on the plate in terms of color, the more nutrition you're getting. So today I just have some vegetables, chicken breast, broad beans, and sweet potato, and that is going to be doing for lunch. I'm trying to add as much variety as possible, still within the calorie limit, so I still have to do the measurements for the foods, especially stuff that I've never measured before. Today I added beans, and that is going to be a little bit of extra protein, but more so carbs, so that's why I reduced the quantity of the carbs that I'm having, which is the sweet potato. Normally I'll have 100 grams. Now I've reduced it to 50 grams because of the beans. Today is a relaxed day because Mondays I usually do upper body, and I don't know, upper body is just smooth sailing for me because I don't exert myself too much. The only challenge comes in when I have to do core work. I also want to improve my push-ups because I'm really bad at push-ups. I think I can do 5, not even 5, let me not lie, maybe 2 clean push-ups, then the rest it will just be jokes. So I want to integrate those movements into my upper body days, so push-ups and pull-ups as well. The day when I'm doing back, I will also be attempting to improve my pull-ups. Hopefully by the end of this year I want to be able to do 10 clean push-ups, 10 clean pull-ups, and that is at least a specific goal that I'm working towards besides everything else. I just had the most brilliant upper body workout session, and the reason why I love upper body days is because when I work out my upper body, the pump shows. Like, I just came here to brag a little bit, but look at that arm. See the definition? See the triceps? Physique! The goal is to be muscle mom. Today, cookies and cream. Also, another thing, I think probably in the gym I go to, when it comes to females, I am the most underdressed for the gym. Underdressed in terms of the scrunch booty shorts and the matching sets. I don't know how long I have to work out to get the right body for a scrunch booty short. Personally, I'm just what do you call it? A prude by nature. So I don't think I would feel comfortable. But let me tell you, there are some ladies in the gym. Wow. The bodies and the scrunch booty shorts, they deserve to wear it. They really do. I don't know, the mechanics of it doesn't work for me. Like, when the shorts are riding up, how do you squat? And somebody explain to me, because me personally I can't. I really feel comfortable in joggers when I'm doing, especially leg day. Loose joggers really work well. The only problem is I don't have enough of them. Actually, I should invest in more loose fitting joggers because on leg days they're really comfortable as compared to tights, because the tights I have, I don't feel like they're very comfortable. But I have like 2 pairs of joggers which I wear sometimes, and I find them very comfortable. But this brilliant looking woman in the scrunch booty shorts. Good morning. I think I have finally attained a flow state with my morning routine, because right now I'm just waking up at 5:30, no alarm, no nothing. 5:30 and I'm up. I had a nice morning walk, and now we want to make breakfast. And if you haven't already guessed it, it's going to be an omelette. So I'm going to be making 2 egg whites and 2 whole eggs. Yeah, that's going to be around roughly 20 grams for protein. For the other meals like lunch and dinner, easy to smash 30 grams of protein. And then I have a protein powder, which I usually have after the gym. So in total, I'm getting around 120 to 130 grams of protein, depending on what I eat for lunch and dinner, which I feel like it's more than enough. They say you're supposed to take your body weight in pounds and eat that same amount in proteins. So for me, it will be around 150 grams of protein. But even if it's 120, the point is we're still making an effort towards the objective. So it's fine if it's 150, as long as it's more than 100. That's what I tell myself. So that's breakfast sorted out. Should be around 350 calories or so, which is high protein, a little bit of good carbs, fiber, and a cup of black tea, no sugar. And that's going to be breakfast for today. So once I have this, the good thing about starting off with protein in the morning, it keeps you full for longer. Like I usually don't feel hungry between breakfast and lunch. So this will hold me over until the next meal. I kid you not, the way breakfast held me together so well, I almost forgot about lunch. But don't skip meals. First of all, because every meal is essential to achieving our calorie goals, macro goals, proteins, carbs, and fats. And another thing is, if I skip this lunch, by the time it comes to dinner time, I will be dying. So, quinoa mixed with brown rice, and then 100 grams of beef, and my broccoli and carrots. 100 grams of ground beef is around 270 calories. Okay. And this is what comes up when I measure it out. That in the middle over there. I've been eating ground beef for a family of 4. What do you mean? Because usually I wouldn't serve like this. A very good evening. The gym today was nice, but today I decided to put aside all distractions and just focus on the workout. And I realized that you people are distracting me because the workout was brutal. I was feeling like nauseous. That's how hard I was going. But yeah, I had a good workout, and then now it's time to go and make another dinner. There's this kale salad that I made last week on Friday, and I think I'm hooked on it because it just does the job. It's such a nice salad. I make it with curly kale. Curly kale, it looks a lot like skuma, but it doesn't taste like skuma when it's raw. That's the thing. It just tastes nice. I make it with curly kale, a little bit of grapes, a little bit of chickpea, and then a little bit of cucumber, a little bit of cranberry, like very little bit of dried cranberries. The dried cranberries is just, hints of surprise with every bite, because I put like 5 or 6 pieces, which is very few, and then mix it up. So every couple of bites there's a nice sweet surprise in the salad, which I really enjoy. But this salad, I am completely hooked on it, and you'll be seeing more of it. But yes, there's gonna be the kale salad with, what do I have? I have chicken breast, kale salad and chicken breast, everything measured. Another 30-gram protein meal coming up. Do you see how dark it is? I met a child running in this darkness, and for a second I was like, what's going on? Why is this child alone? So I stopped him, and I don't even talk to people's children like that. And I just asked him, where are you going? Because I panicked, because I'm like, why is the child outside in this cold, in this darkness? And then he was like, I'm going to the mosque. And I was like, oh yeah, Dubai is a safe city. This community is even safer. I'm sure there are like 5 CCTV cameras watching me right now. And I was like, oh, okay, keep going as you are. Sorry for interrupting. And when I say a child, I mean he looks 5 or 6. It's a really, really small boy. And he's just alone. Like, I looked around to see if there was anyone with him. He was alone. But also, the dedication, going to the mosque at 5 a.m. Mashallah. Mashallah. And that is my very colorful lunch. I've also been trying to make sure that I get a variety of items on my plate. The more color, the more nutritious, the more better. I'm feeling very energetic, so today we're going to actually go for the bike ride. We do 2 days gym, 1 day alternative, and then 2 days back to the gym. So today is a bike ride day. I really wanted to complete 30 kilometers, but I'm so tired. I don't even know where I can get those extra 2 kilometers. I don't have it in me. I'm not even back home yet. I just stopped at the nearest park to the house so I can rest a little because I am tired. But 28 kilometers is not bad. These 2 cats were beefing, so I had to separate them. No fighting this morning, Kitty. Good afternoon. Here to wrap up week 3. I decided to switch locations. Since it's a nice relaxed day, I came out to be one with nature and touch grass. You know, sometimes you need to touch grass a little bit, get some vitamin D. My girlfriends back home decided to start a book club, so they gave me a book to read. Of course, I don't have the actual book itself, but I have it as an ebook, so I decided to come to the park and have a little bit of a read, and then I also brought my sketch pad with me so I can do some doodles because I'm going to be listening to the book, so I can keep my hands busy with doing some doodlings and just enjoy the fresh air and the outdoor environment. I also packed my lunch. Lunch for today is the staple tuna wrap, so just having a very chill day, but here to wrap up the events of week 3, which is even why I'm in the park today, which is even why I needed to touch grass, because week 3 was a bit stressful. Some technical difficulties came up and it was a bit of a stressful week, but we prevailed. Stuck to the meal plan, been going to the gym. I think the main aspect of the stress reflected in the sleep, because I tracked my sleep and I was seeing there was some evenings where the sleep was not restful. The eyes were closed but the girl was not sleeping. The eyes were closed but the girl was not sleeping restfully. And that event reflected in the weigh-in for this week, because last week we were at a good 69 point something, and this week we are still at 69 point something. I just knew once I hit that 70 barrier and I go to my regular weight range, things are gonna start getting more difficult. It seems like everything has slowed down a little bit, but the good thing is that I track everything. I've been tracking my meals, I've been tracking my sleep, tracking my workouts, so I can be able to look at whatever needs to be adjusted in order to get things moving again. It takes 21 days to form a habit. It's been 3 weeks of January, so I think my body has decided, okay, so this is the habit now, we're cool. So now things need to change around a little bit in order to start a new habit. Not really a new habit, but break the stagnation barrier. That's the main thing, break the stagnation barrier. So that is what I'm going to be doing for the new coming week. The good thing is, even though there's not a huge change in the number, it has not increased. That's one good thing. And the fat percentage also slightly went down according to my little scale. Currently the fat loss is at around 1 point something% since we started. So as long as that number keeps on moving, I don't even care about the total weight. That is my concern, is losing the fat. And I've been seeing changes as well. When I look at myself in the mirror, I can see, especially my abdominal regions, the abs are coming in, girl. The abs are coming in. So this is the main agenda. So as long as the abs keep coming in, as long as I can see that definition of muscles, I'm happy with it. My goal is not only to lose fat, but I also want to improve my metabolism, and that comes from making sure that I'm getting like proper nutrition throughout the day, eating all the 3 meals, and creating a demand for those meals in my body by constantly moving my body. I think that is the best way to improve the metabolism. We're getting older. I want to make sure that by the time I turn 40, my body system is a machine, operating optimally. Taking it the long and slow routes might be frustrating at times, but this is the best way to make sure that it's a permanent change, because right now the habit has built into me to eat healthy, eat at the right time, get enough rest, be active. So the process takes longer, but the results last for longer, because if I start starving myself and not eating and doing all that, within a few months it will reach a point where I just really need to eat, and then all of it comes flooding back. So I don't mind taking the long process. I don't even know if you've heard anything I've said because it's so windy, but anyway, with that being said, let me get back to my audiobook and my doodling, and I'll probably have my lunch, and then that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. Don't forget to like, comment if you want to, subscribe if you haven't, and if you enjoyed the video, share it with your friends. And we will be back next week with week 4, and January is gone just like that. So if you haven't started, I would suggest to get on your Zoom. But thank you for watching. Bye.